Communication of confusion. What does that mean? In all line center interference is all position, location, and directions at all levels of view. And so understanding numbers is truly understanding through memory, and the only way you understand that is through its calculation stream. So we're in the unified ascension of its walking system. All right. Everybody's walking their path. Now everybody can go through their own pace in position and directions. It's how you sequence your patterns of communication interference. It triangulates its position location of its triangulation. Now this opens all sector communication, your vectors, and your coordinate system. So this gives you better platitude division location line conditions. Today in school, we're going to travel to Babylon. Now the Babylon center is position, location, and time. The code signals are set up through its position location. You're going to see the matriarch. You're going to see the fallen angels. You're going to see Lilith. You're going to see Lucifer, line conditions. You're going to see all position locations to its position. All right? Truth sets you free. Now, in that calculations, when you go to Babylon, you're going to go through the past line to its present to its future line. We're going to bring all timelines into one line circle in position in one direction, which is one connection, one telepathy, one line, one graph, one road to its ascension. You're going to be walking the ascension, and then you're going to go be up the stairs. So this is all about understanding how to get into that location. You start off with the unified ascension is the awakening of the heart. Now, once the heart understands the system line connection, it comes in position, location, of directions. That's why you guys are all informed with Adam and Eve, right? Because you've already done your avatar positions of travel. You've seen the phases here and there and there and there and here and here and there. And now you're coming more in position locations. Why we are here in divine timing is for you to understand you more inside of its heart system. Now that is the awakened location of its unified. But now you're walking the system to its location. Where you need to get is to the other side. And the only way to do that is through its memory. Okay? So there's a lot to understand. When you get into all levels, there's going to be a tractor beam interference, location to its calculations. You're obviously going to go through the energy watch locations, but you're going to go through 3 line centers. All right? Past line center location of Babylon, present position location of Babylon, and future line communication of Babylon. Set position locations into one, but you need 2 vector line communication and flux capacitor high channels. You need 3 line centers, 4, 5, 6 sun communication, 3 moon track location, right? So that's 3 vector line center line rotation to all levels. Constellation path to its position of time. Space connection is no longer going to be separated. We're going to come into one timeline simultaneously all at once, living all timelines in your walking system. So this is about taking 3 line road graph locations into one line direction locations from here to here, line connection straight across, right? So you start here, right? You can't see anything. So it's like you're seeing a 3-dimensional block line of a letter or a word or that position location. And then if you bring it in like this in a line connection, you actually can see the word or what it is. So putting position locations back in the calculation is one road graph to its position of space, time. And that's where we're coming into space, time, not space and time. Huge difference to a position location and understand you through its ascension gives you modified circles, high center location, and when you see the other line center, gives you a better practical system to see yourself where you need to be and I'll allocate location. All right. Time precedes everything. Time precedes everything through clocking. Time is a now position location of its avatar stream. So walking that line center will give you a better position location of directions, right? Knowing exactly what you're going through. So you're automatically going to go through 3 million line centers of direction at a time, locking sequence and position location calculations. Now this is where you have to balance your ego lines. Okay. So it's like walking up the 1,000 steps. Each step represents a dimension of a door, and you have to understand the door. Open up, go through. Open up, go through. So in that position, the more you release, the more you come into the truth of you, the more you go through each dimensional door. Okay? The more you get confused, the more you go back, and sometimes you go right back to the beginning and start all over and walk the path. Okay? So that's given to you an all level system. Treating how to use it is all connection. That gives you levels of platitude locations, high signal line connections in position of time, high generation light centers and rotation calculations. This opens all levels of you to your memory, to your upgrades, your downloads, your uplinking system, right? It's glorious to one nature to see yourself on the other line center location of its arch, which is Gardens of Eden. But walking the path, okay, is just the beginning to its position location. Okay? You go here, and that calculations. You go through here, and that position locations. And then you go up the steps one by one. All right? So a sequence interference in position of directions puts you in all levels. It's like turning on a light bulb. Wow, look at that light. Where did it come from? Understanding line center net rotations, graph line rotations. Look at that. See that cloud channel change position location and calculations? See the grids on the solar graph line center and rotation interference? So either you see it or you don't. And that's how I perceive my thought lines. If I don't want you to see it, I put up my E fields and you don't see outside. That's its balance. If you can't seem to balance your light streams and what you do through travel recognition of time location, you're not going to be able to understand position location of its nature. Nature has its own space line connections. It's all connected to the ground line centers, guys, to the power locations or anything they have sort of change position line system, right? So walking the path is your introduction, okay? So I'm going to set 3 line center locations. We're going to 3 moon line rotation calculations. 3 moon lines. All right. Now, your position locations, you come into your 6 suns. 6 suns are already allocate time. So 1 here, 3 circle locations, 1 here. That's 4, that's 5, that's 6. Okay. In position locations. All right. Now, highline center, time frequency, time code, time interference location calculations. Coming into Babylon. Position here, and position here. 3 line connections, right? 4 individual line rotation calculation, right? So we're going to have 3 sector line communications, set up security measures, position of balance, balance on communication system, balance communication system, right? And you got balance of the ground lines, right? And high center. Interference line connection levels. Okay, so we're going into dimensional dorm centers, rotation to its calculations, holding signals. Now, holding signals in a graph line center opens all communications to its triangulation, to its position, right? Triangulation to its position, triangulation to its position. All right. So in that position line stream, allocate timelines opens up the sun graph. Now that sun graph changes coloration, position, location, and directions. 1, 2, 3 on top line system. 1, 2 on medium circle. In position, center up line center locations, a mega communication line stream. Okay. So in that high center, we go into all position locations into the alpha line center, energy dome, position location, directions, protecting highest location of its grounds of communication system. All right. Now that's in calculation modification line connections. Then we come into a graph interference of triangulation force line communication system. And then we come into all graph locations to another illumination graph line system. Okay. Now that's all set in signal. Now, getting positions of Babylon is set in position locations. All right. We're going to go through 3 circle black dot centers. All right. This is going to put you in direction to its triangulation force communication system. All right. All right. 1, 2, 3. We're going to triangle through that locations. All right. Code signalized center and position of sectors, vectors, quadrant line interference location, capacity, high system line, triangle force line conditions. Put them in a docile line, a high center line, position, location, of directions, triangulation, in high center interference. All right, there you go. Now you're there. 3 line center interference locations. You guys are in the past line. 10 minutes on the dot line center interference in position location. Then we go to the present. Then we go to the future. And then we put lines and locations into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 line positions. Into position higher levels into 12 line center. Ball in the path, 1 graph location to 2 vector line center interference location calculation. All right, have fun. So when you get out of line center interference, we'll go into the present line center. You have another 10-minute location, and then we go into the future location of the Babylon, and we bring 1, 2, 3 in position of 1 line center to 1 graph location to 1 stream interference to 1 clocking system. All right, have fun. So countdown is in sequence and pattern, high position location of directions. All right. All right, so you got 10 minutes to do what you need to do through securing line position locations. Simulation path, high sectors, communication, high center location. So quantum channel high center. Okay, so Z line equals force. Okay, equals lines equals ascension. Position, location, or direction. All right, so the ascension comes in high line center. 7 equals 96 equals 69. All right, so that's what you guys are coming into, 96 to 69. The 7 line center line in rotation, plus it's my favorite number, comes in a triangulation line stream. All right, sets position locations into 1 position location to 2 line rotation calculation. Now the ascension opens up its arch of a communication system. Now comes the high line center. You take the ascension to the Z graph line center. Triangulation, down right center interference. Now in position locations, we got the up line center in position of north line rotation, self position of east line connection, position of time. Central line communication to its diamond core in high center location. Now that opens all position location and directions. Now that force line changes all communication to its triangulation. Center core line center of balance communication into high line center interference. Now that sets a high line correlation panel to a graph line position of triangulation. Right? See the box line position? Triangulation force, 12 line position location direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 security measures. Program setting position location line connection. Now we're going to line stream. Box position location of calculations. All right. High down, high sector line communication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You guys have to stay in the 12 line division. Now, in that correlation, this position location changes all lines to its force, to its Z graph line center, interference position location, to its ascension, high position location, equal line center location, 96 equal line position location to 69. Map and sequence high interference. Right? So in calculation, okay, we got 7 minutes on the dot line. All right. After calculations, you guys go into the present line center by Babylon location. All right, so I'll set that line center and position location. Waiting signal a code system line rotation. All right, so graph line center. Now I'm setting up 3 graph line centers of Babylon. Okay, so that's position locations calculations. All right, the 3rd line center is high line rotations. Now this is where you take the 3, 6, and 9 line connections. All right, and rotate it through some line. Now you take the 3 line center locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the 6 subline centers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in position of direction. Now, that's set up and signal to the sun graph line center rotation calculations. Position of directions, right? So the 3 moves in position of 9, right? 9 equals 3 in high center, okay? And then 3 in position location 6 in high locations into the ground location. Ground equals ascension, all right? In position of direction. Waiting on signal locations. This is the 3rd graph location, right? So that's set up position of time, right? So we set line center interference. Now this is where we come into the ascension line walk location. This opens all division location of arc, 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 ascension path. Correlation to the system, high position of directions. All right, graph line center and position location. All right, so we come into rainbow graph streams, okay? High interference, high position location calculations, all levels, graphing communication, digital line rotation calculations. All right. Waiting on signal, highline center, all position location is sun. Walking the frost bridge of communication system when they are ready to highline center. All right, set and signal location. All right, so that's all set up. Now we're going to inline center its position, location, and directions. Setting alpha channel and position of heart. Heart equals line center of travel. Travel equals location of theta. All right, theta communication. Comes into TV line. Okay, TV equals lines equals ascension. Okay, equals walkway. Ooh-ah. That's what you guys are coming into. All right, that's in position locations to structure location equation. Now you got 3 line center interference. Now those 3 line center interference is going to walk the signal in position location and directions, walking position location to 1 road graph location. Ooh-ah. Set and signal location. Now that's set in high center interference. Okay, taking you guys out of line center, setting you guys in position locations into 2 second line center battle line. All right, signal interference. Set position. Present line center battle line. 10 minutes on the clocking dot. All right, so that's in calculation. Setting course line channels. Inner line is position locations. Redirect center line rotation interference. Now in calculations, we're going to go into the sequence pattern. All right, to understand the ground line center to all level position. How to set the high line centers of 6 positions in all levels of the sun in correlation to positions. Now, once you come into training line center, we set line center and interference location into 6-way travel lines, 4, 5, 6 in high center. Now, once you come into high center, you come into an alpha channel. Sonar position location of directions times pi. Times pi comes into high line rotation, interference location and calculation. Setting signal courses to your rainbow graph stream. Now it comes into high line channel into its rainbow system. Walking the frost bridge of calculation. All right. So this is how you set locations in this position. All right. Ooh-ah. Starting here, line center and in rotation calculation, 3, 6, and 9 position location. 6 line centers the sun in position locations into all levels of the grounds of the ascension. All right. So once you get in that line center, you come in this position location is calculation, understanding 1 graph line center. Okay. Atmosphere line center location of travels and anything to do with waving telecommunication is all generation light streams. So you come in 1 graph line center, we set up the rainbow graph location to its position to 1 timeline, to 1 calculation of 1 graph, to 1 road, to its walkway ascension. Hoo-ah. All right. Now, understanding what's going on is understanding all time, position, locations of view, and how to sector its line connections of its walkway surface. This gets you a better track line center and how to use your time position, right? Walking to where you need to be and then going up the stairs to the other sideline system, right? All through dimension of light, okay? Walking to where you need to be, all right? In space, time, all right? All right, so you guys are almost finished that line connections. That's sending a location to position, location, line rotation. All right, so we go inline center interference, going to correlation, all right? Now I'm going to change the coloration of the sun line in communication to 6 patterns in position of 9. 9 equals to the line position. So in rotation, the sun is high rising faster in calculations, all right? So I'm going to illuminate the 3 line center, open up positions of patterns of the 6, and retrack location 9 equals line connections all levels of 3. 3 is going to surf into the ground line center position equals line connections all position location to its atmospheres of calculations into its ascension. Okay. Now this is where it comes into its diamond core. All right. Setting second locations in position. 3rd track line center comes into all levels. Right. In that position of directions, you go into the walkway surface. All right. So, yep, that's exactly what it is. You're moving forward. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. I mean, that's a true understanding into his position of time, but true understand this is the equation line center to position location traveling through. And this is where you start in position location to its calculation. All right. So it's interesting. Yeah, if I could put everything all in one graph line, right? But because the graph line center is in sector locations of 4, so it has to be in 4 line center location into all levels of a 7. Okay. Try to get position locations. So try to understand this. All right. Get in position of directions of 7. Right. 7. 7. Right there. All that I've done today. All that I've done today lines center location is 7. See? 7. Number 7. So it's in correlation to its position of time. Allocate timeline centers. It's important to understand what position, location, and direction is. Okay, so steady line center locations, 2-minute on the dot signal. Allocate timeline center interference. Graph locations, calculations, walkway service. High position location calculations, walk in the stream. There you go. Set position, location, direction. So it's amazing when you do these things because what happens? Everything in time position changes its location, right? Moving signals and high interferences, all levels of U, right? How you do it is its walking system, right? So the correlation of space time is now in its procedure location of its clocking system of 24. 24 in position location is a line. So ST line center locations, 1 equals line center of 3 equals location of 1300 location line system. Because you get 24. And what is 1 p.m. high position? 1 p.m. is 1300, right? So now we're in a full clocking system. Time position location of a clock line center into the little hand to the big hand to U and the center line connections of 1 position locations into 1300 line connections of all walkway system. 1300 line center line and rotation calculations of rainbow stream centers. All right, all set in signal through a clocking system of 24. Okay, so beautiful how we put these things all together, right? All right, it's great to see everybody. Let's go back. Position line, direction, reference, location, clock line. On it, great. How's it going? Pam, Jill, Amby, Don, Terry, Airbender, Lindsay. Communications, Heather, Johnny, Michael, Chris, Amby. Yeah, it's great to see everybody. That position, location, and calculations. All right. Inputs, glass location line centers, full frequencies. Just going through locations. Jessica. There's Lindsay in position. Okay. All right, so everything is in the line center. What you're seeing for position locations, calculation, all levels of U. It's how to understand the inner line, its interdimensional system of U of the intergalactic location of its DNA. That's the process of communication you have to understand. And the only way to do is to understand everything through its equation is to walk the ascension. All right? All right. Seeing the light of orbs. Yeah. We got bleed over there. So she wants some attention. I'm just briefly going through everything locations here. All right. How are we all doing? So fast. I was having this long song. Okay. Christina. Yeah, don't worry if you're not there yet. You will in position of time. But now you're in one position location, one time, one clocking, one activation light stream in your intelligence, right? So it's taking Babylon on 1, 2, and 3 into one line graph location position of yin and yang, right? Turning 96 into 69 location of 7 position. What is 7 position? The balanced communication to your graph line center and how to use your locations. You have 7 body track locations of water, and you got 5 atmospheric locations of space. 7 plus 5 is 12, right? We already know that line system. That's your 12 DNA. Walking this system puts you in a higher level location to your mind. That puts you in a higher line division, right? So it's amazing when you put these things all together, right? Through its equation. All through down the core line center, right? So, all right, 26. I'm going to take you out of 20 line center and wait until position location it comes into high center. Okay. Now you're back. All right. So there you go. 26 line centers. All right. That's 26,000 line communication of interference, position of direction. Channeling its line center of position of past to its present of its future line is putting everything into one line position location of light and dark of you. You got one road graph line traveling through its all levels of its arc, of its garden of Eden, of its ascension. Okay. Gypsy, there's a new battery energy supply installed. That's right, Chris. That's exactly what just finished happening. Do you see all the confusion where it came into? Do you understand the importance where you guys have to balance out your stream of location, your constellation past? To understand the position location is balancing you and the correlation. Okay. Understanding how to travel. And when you get into certain line connections, you level off. More into the future line, right? But you have to reach a certain line connections. You have to go into the high line center of 7, understand the gratitude locations to your position, and then you go into higher position located transmitting, receiving, and then you go into 5 atmosphere lines. Go from here to here. And once you reach the 5 atmosphere lines, you come out of your 12 DNA line into your interdimensional line of rotation, which puts you into the interface of its connections of space, time. So, yep. I know. Things are really have connected more, especially with the intergalactic locations and the sectors and the vectors and quadrants. But you guys are going to feel a bit more different now, a lot more calm. Walking through a path is all about what you see on both side locations. It's not what you see in front. You don't know what's on the other side. That's its mystery. But you're getting there faster every time, right? Don't look behind because there's nothing there. You're moving forward. Looking back changes your direction. So it's like you're looking here and all of a sudden you're going, all right? Your misconception locations and you're construing line centers. So in position location here, you go to here and then you go straight through, right? Going through those dimensional door settings. Really understand what you're doing through adaptation locations, right? That gets you a better understanding what you are doing. What are you doing? Trying to find out who you are. And the only way to do that is get into that connection, right? Don't put yourself in your ego line, okay? As soon as you put your ego line, you're going back. Remember, you're going through a Fibonacci sequence line. It's communication location at 3, 6, and 9. So it communicates at 3, 6, and 9, but is 9, is it 3 or 6? I'm not sure. Where's the equation location line connections? The planet is location, understand the triangulation force interference, but I understand the location of its walkway. But the Ascension understands its lights, but the light understands its time. But where's the space communication system? It's all levels of the mind. of communication line stream. So getting into that line connections puts you in a better division locations calculation of its clocking system, right? That is in a formation, right? So that's where we're walking now. We're in a 24 line clocking. Congratulations, guys. We're walking a stream. One calculation, one timeline, all level sequence. You have to learn to basically set your line send locations and take your suns from 6, 5, 4, 3, 0 to 1. One timeline to one sun, to one moon location, to one vector communication of flux command. And then you understand more locations of you, of its ascension, right? So once you get into that, you start living the existence and you really form more and more and more because space and time only stays in an L line, which is only one timeline. It doesn't have past, present, or future. It's just one location, right? So every time you get up in the morning, you start releasing more and more each time. So when you're releasing all these things, the 6, the 5, the 4, and 3, and the 2, and the 1 position location of the suns will go into the center line connection position into your singularity. The Satori line center and rotation to positions of timeline connection of space will put you in a better division location, right? That will open up more levels of your pattern to all communication. It puts you in a better adaptation to its cycles and communication, how to use all levels of your geometrics, of your geometries, and your geographical system. A space-time division. So, how do we all feel? Focus on what you want, acknowledge you don't want, and live in the assumption of what you want. It's magic. Yeah. It's like the first time I can fully breathe. Yep. I know when you get your sequence patterns communication of balance, you understand more position location of time. It's not just the space that you provide, but it's what you're doing through time sequence. Time calculation, time code, vector line center location times calculation, times pi, times square, square root. You understand this location, what you're doing through modification. It's all levels to get to your simulation. All right. Yeah, you guys are all merging into one, which is good. It's good to see that location. Yeah, you'll get more communication to its intelligence because you're walking in one stream now. You're not in conversion locations from this to this anymore. You're walking one line, which is straight. So if you're walking straight, all those suns of perception are going to disappear. And then you come into one perception, one timeline, all at once in position. All right. That's the true understanding when you come into all levels, what you're seeing. This is about balancing you more and more each day. This puts you in a better position locations through your heart. The indication to its line connection is all levels of you and how you follow yourself through your avatar stream. You get into all levels of memory, and then you understand the connect energy pattern, the communication, the data process line center, the integrate location to its calculation. You understand how to walk the system of its revelation. So, yes, you guys did extremely well today. All right. So it's amazing what just finished happening. Everything that we do affects us, everything that we do through travel. Because remember, you're coming into your abundance, you're coming into surrender, you're coming into discernments, you're coming into your manifestation, you're coming into your co-creations. You're coming back to who you are. You're reclaiming everything back. It's a beautiful thing. When you see yourself on the other side, all you got to do is walk through and go up the stairs, right? Don't get confused because there's a Fibonacci sequence line. So the faster you go in position of capacity, high position of the memory line, the adaptation circle of the Fibonacci changes sequence location to its galaxy system. So it's like going this way and then going this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. You put it all together, right? So you got either am I going downstairs, or am I going upstairs, am I going downstairs, am I going upstairs? So the faster you go, you got to release to go forward, right? Because what happens if you're going through Fibonacci sequence walk line, you're going like this, you're going down and whoa, you're going all the way back. So this position location goes into that way. all through Fibonacci. So a Fibonacci sequence throws you off through calculations. It's very powerful if you don't understand the flow line. The flow line has the flow position locations. The 6 and the 9 is trying to come in your position location and directions. All right. This is where it comes into the atom light of its electron line locations. Merge in position into one position. Right to the calculation of yin and yang. So, yeah, it's great when you get into more of the flow lines. It's a beautiful feeling. It really is. So you guys did an incredible job. So enjoy your day. I will see you on TikTok. Adios.